Hello, good day everyone. I am Kenan Suburban and today we'll, we'll be doing an Android development. So basically we're going to try to parse response on certain API. So I have here built already on my local. Um, I have built a local web service API. So here we have the slash info which will have the infos for the available routes in our service. So I have here as retrieve users, create user, delete user. So we're going to get this list of routes, and then these datas, these records, we're going to use it on the future videos to send the requests, for example, to retrieve users, to create user, to delete user. Okay. So without further ado, let's start creating a new project with empty activity, and then we're going to name it as basic application, and then we'll have the minimum SDK as Android 19 in order to support 99.4% of devices available in the market, and also use the legacy Android support libraries in order to have no backward compatibility issues. Okay, so let's hit the finish, and so while waiting for the build to be done, we're going to use the Valet as the number one medium to send request on the API, on my local API. So the trick here, in order for you, for your Android and then also your local web service API to communicate, is to have the same network with the backend, your backend web service. So basically, if you're connected to a router, that's good, even if it's doesn't have any internet connection. So it doesn't require you to have a internet connection, but uh, as long as you can ping each other, like for example, you have one network, you are connected to your router. There should be your um, Android or smartphone connected to that router, which is the same with your laptop, which will be there your backend web service. So basically, we are connected to that same router. So it's done. Right now, we're going to import the Valet. So to do that, we're going to go to the Gradle scripts, and then here in the build.gradle, which is the basic application that app, the second one. In the dependencies, we're going to import based on the official release number. So it's currently 1.2.1. Then we're going to sync. So make sure that the toggle offline mode is not clicked, so that this dependency will be auto downloaded by your IDE or the Android Studio. So and also you need to have an internet connection. Okay, so right now it's done. It's quite fast because it's already been downloaded in my end. So now we're going to parse, try to parse this request. So we already know the structure of the data. Like there's an info. This is a JSON array, an object, and then there's another object called the routes, and then there have a number of instances of the route. So basically, this is a list of routes. So we're going to create a model on that one, since we're going to get the data for the routes. So we're going to have a new package named models, and then we're going to right click new, and then Java class. Um, this would be of type interface, and then this will have the user service. Okay, and then this will have method code. send um, get routes will, and this will take the this will have an argument of m context. So context is very important, especially in Android Studio, in order to pinpoint the exact activity. So, and also, if you're going to throw some messages like pop-up message in order to debug, then passing the context would be very much helpful to you. Okay, S- so now, oops, sorry. This should be on the, I'm wrong on this one. So let's create a new package. This will be on the service, and then the user service would be moved to that, yeah, that one, user service. So the models we just get, this should be routes, and then this will be private string route name, private string route value. So remember guys, in JSON, we need to match the same text or word in order for us to get the exact value. So we have the string route name, string route value, and then we're going to have a getters and setters. So you can click Alt Insert and then getters and setters, and then click all the choices. So here you have the getters and setters. Basically, it's just the setting and getting the values of specific field. So we have already a model on that one. So coming back to this user service, we're going to have an implementation to that interface. So user service PL, and then implements user service, and this will have an error. Do not worry. So you need to click Alt Insert and then implement methods. This one, and then we're going to initiate the string request. So basically, we're going to initiate the sending of the request on the CPI. So we're going to structure it. So we're going to use the string request of the Valet string request is equals to new string request. So there are three arguments. First is the method. You should know by now, since you are dealing with the REST API, the different types of method. So we're going to match the method from here to the API. Since we're able to get this API in the via browser without any special parameters or body, um, that's because this is a get method. So basically, just get. And then the second argument or the parameter on this string request is the URL. So we're going to fill that out later. Next would be the listener for the response. Next is the comma error. So just control space. It will have auto suggestion for your to. Oh, I mean for you to do something. So this one. Then we're going to proceed with the semicolon. Now we are going to fill out the URL, since um, we need to specify the host name, the protocol. We're going to use um, a constant on that one. So new, let's create a new package, and then we'll have it as a common. And then here we're going to add a class main constants, and then we're going to declare it as public static, meaning it's a single tone type of variable. So public static string URL equals to HTTP. This one local. We're going to just copy the host as well as the protocol. So this one, and then close this one, and also remove the and slash. Sorry about that. And then here we're going to have the constants that URL slash info. And then we're going to add the string request to the queue. So we're going to initiate a request queue from the valley. So equals to valley that new request queue, and then here the context. So basically we're going to attach the request queue to that context or an activity. So queue that add string request. So now we are done adding the string request, right? So we're going to go back here in the main activity. So here in the onCreate method, this is where all your codes would be appended. Like if you have another functions, this will be called here uh, on the onCreate method. So since Android Studio is a life cycle type of development wherein it's depending on the event. So here on create, meaning the creation of the activity. Here you can set the listeners, the views, as well as the variables to connect the internal variable to the design variable. So yeah, so since we're not going to deal today uh, for the UI or the design, we'll just have to declare here as get routes. So basically, this will, upon creation of the activity, this will trigger the request to getting the routes. So here on the global scope, we're going to have the private um, user service plus new user service implementation, and then we're going to call the get routes and then pass the main activity that is. So now the question is how would you get the response? I mean, how would you get the response from the API and then pass it, parse it? So now we're going to create a Java interface wherein that that will handle to that the response. So we have the we can have it as REST response. Okay, so on the response there could be two, right? So we can have um, void on success. This will have the this will take the response as string, and then yeah, let's have that way first, and then void on error, valley error, valley error, and then the context. Yeah, we also need to. and the context here in the on success.